Alright, so do I have a treat for you all? Hopefully it's a treat. Um, yeah, the Obosh Ox deck. So, I mean, at the end of the day, this is all kind of the same idea, ultimately repackaged multiple different ways. This is just us trying to kind of max out on the grind and also have a little touch of utilization of the graveyard with good old Ox of Agonas. Other than that, it's the usual suspects, sans Ragavan. If you are interested in a more sort of budget-friendly deck that doesn't use Ragavan, and to be honest, doesn't particularly want to use Ragavan, this could be an option to think about because Voldaren Epicure, and sorry, it's just much easier for me to go off of this screenshot, so I can't enlarge it, but Voldaren Epicure, we've probably seen it in the artifacts or the Galvanic Blast decks more often, but it basically dings the opponent for one, and then creates a blood token that you can sacrifice to discard a card or draw a card. But since the blood token is an artifact, you can sacrifice it to Shrapnel Blast. But here, we don't really use the blood token so much for being an artifact. We just use it to mostly to pitch Ox, or to just pitch a land or something into the graveyard, whatever. And then, at the end of the day, if you chop block with it or it dies, then there's two cards in the graveyard for one card. Just the whole deck is kind of designed, Pyrite Spellbomb, you cycle through your deck, you put another card in your graveyard. The whole deck is kind of designed to just, dump cards in the graveyard, just cycle through your deck, hopefully hit Ox of Agonas, go nuts. Yeah, this is the one deck that I think pretty much outgrinds almost every other deck. I will say that I think I recorded this either before Elish Norn, Mother of Machines, was made legal, or it may have actually been legal at the time, but I may not have run into any leaks with it. But I will say that going even more all in on comes into play effects with Elish Norn running around is a little bit concerning. So that is a little bit of a concern that you may want to think about just playing, what do you call it, research desk and the kind of usual suspects. If there's a lot of Elish Norn running around. I mean, we got the usual Flame Slash, Lightning Bolt combo that you could take it out. Yeah, our sideboard, though, mostly like we're kind of relying on Stonebrain to preemptively name that card if it comes up. I think, yeah, actually, Stonebrain, is that from? I can't remember if that's if that. I think that's from the set right before. But in any case, yeah, we have named it before, and that is a solution. But I mean, other than that, pretty much the usual suspects. Lantern instead of Relic. Because Relic messes with the grave, which is bad for Ox. For Sokenzen, it's not a mistake. When you're dealing with Ox of Agonas, the legendary rule isn't as big of a deal because you still dump more cards in the graveyard, so you can get to that magic 8 number. And then, you can also just dump it in the graveyard for 4, get 2 colorless tokens. Yeah, it's possible that Forgotten Cave is better, but it's also not bad. Anyway, let's get to the games, because at the end of the day, as long as you're not getting Elish Norn, Ox of Agonas is pretty much the apex of outgrinding almost any other grind deck. This is the only version that I found back when Yorion Omnath control was a thing that was consistently able to, not always, but was able to, and I feel kind of slightly favored to actually outgrind those old Omnath decks even with Yorion. Nowadays, without Yorion, even the non-Ox versions seemingly can outgrind them, at least in my experience, but I remember even back in the day, this was like the only version that I actually found was capable of outgrinding that deck. Arguably, since there's no more Yorion in the format, I don't necessarily know that we actually have the need to reach for Ox to outgrind anything anymore, so that's another consideration. But it was an interesting experiment. I've had fun playing it, and so I kept this in the back pocket, and hopefully you all get something out of watching me have a blast from the past and taking the old Ox for a spin. Alright. Okay, match 1, game 1, let's go. And we'll keep this hand. It's obviously got what we need. Soul Guide and Lantern, because no guarantee they play something we need to bolt on turn 1. And is it just me, or this is looking like Merfolk? Merfolk definitely has become more popular, and if it is Merfolk, which I put it on pretty quickly, I do decide that Soul Guide Lantern might as well just be cycled ASAP. And it does look like Merfolk. Yeah, I kind of wish I would have played the Pyrite Spellbomb if I would have known, but it's all good. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty good, I think. I wonder why I didn't play the Pyrite Spellbomb. Oh, I guess I probably plan to zap something, play it off of the colorless. It makes sense, in my humble opinion. Yeah. Spreading Seas, underrated card. I would recommend still playing it in Merfolk. I gotta be honest with y'all. Um, I know some Merfolk players have been cutting it, but as you can see right here, it's like it's the one of them. If they win this, it's probably one of the major reasons they do. It really is. I might just cycle the Spellbomb because I need more. I don't know that I need more burn. Um, Smoothing through the deck could be better. So what I don't like is they can, yeah. So I'll just cycle that. They can protect it with another. Yeah, see, I think it was a good call to do this. We can also cycle the Ox. Okie dokie. Yeah. See, I was worried about this, but the good news is if we just zap the Hex Catcher, then we're all good. Yeah. Okay, we're seeing in Dakian. We still might end up taking this. So the way I approach Merfolk is I also try to. This is one of the reasons why I had Fairy Conclave. Now, to be fair, I don't know that in this matchup that's actually going to make a difference. But as you can see, one of my biggest concerns with Merfolk is running out of gas, and that seems to be kind of happening to our opponent. And that's why if you've ever wondered like why I approach building. Oh yeah, so here's what I did with Seasoned Pyromancer. I just in case they had Counterspell, I wanted to hold on to that Lightning Bolt, so I just played it in response to the ability. I made myself a little vulnerable to Preypiercer. It just didn't kind of look like they had it. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that wasn't the most ideal way to do it, but if you're playing more on Counterspell, you could gain some advantages. But that, at the end of the day, that is what it is. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I think they just kind of ran out of gas. Always try to find ways, I think, to try to make your deck gassier if you can. All right. All right, match one, game two, and this time I'm not going to forget to go over the sideboard. Yeah, so I hope I'm getting a little better at this. But yeah, so yeah, Voldaren Epicure is cute and all, but I think it's just not as. So we didn't bring in the Stone Brain. We brought in Shattering Spree. That's what we did, and Magus. So yeah, Soul Guide is obviously graveyard is not super important. Magus is actually not bad. Yeah, now I don't know that Magus is strictly necessary. It all depends on how many non-basics they play. I don't think we got a good enough feel. But in this game, if they're on the mostly island build of Merfolk, which I see a lot of people doing, then Magus is not that great. But I have been seeing a move towards playing a lot of non-basics. Maybe partially. I don't know if that was partially inspired by me, but we didn't see enough of their deck to know if like my approach to Merfolk, they try to load up on absolutely as many non-basics as possible, which I do recommend. And now, as a side effect, it makes you a little more vulnerable to Magus, but you always just remember for that. But at the end of the day, you just can't afford to flood out like what happened to them last game. So I guess at the end of the day, since losing like Voldaren Epicure or Soul Guide isn't that big of a deal, might as well just hedge your bets a little bit. And if nothing else, it shuts off Mutavault. So there's that. Castle Vantress actually could be pretty good. Um, it's pretty free, and while it's not exactly card advantage, it does, as long as you hit 5 mana, it helps prevent you from flooding out from there on after. And Shattering Spree, I think, is the more important of the two cards that we brought in, and the reason why Shattering Spree is important is because one of the only ways that I think Merfolk can be favored in this matchup is if they get a good Aether Vial rhythm going on. Like we saw last game, we were a little bit in danger of them using their Aether Vials to protect their Merfolk and stuff. Ender turns Sphailoon also, we can't zap it before they draw a card. They can give Sphailoon indestructible by flashing in Merfolk through Aether Vial in response to like Flame Slash and whatnot. And it's just Aether Vial just does a lot of things that are not particularly good for us in this matchup. If basically as long as we're trading 1-for-1 with Merfolk, it's very difficult for Merfolk, and I know that for experience as well. But as long as they're able to dump multiple Merfolk out quickly and at flash speed, then it can become a little challenging. It's the same thing with Spirits, really. So yeah, basically, if they don't have Aether Vial, I feel extremely favored to win. That's why we bring in Shattering Spree, and there we go. And I'm not going to mulligan since I do have Shattering Spree. And of course, I don't have Aether Vial, but you know what? I feel strong enough, and I think I might try to Spikefield. Yeah, I just did that just to play around, what's it called, a little bit. And this is another reason to bring in Shattering Spree, which I almost forgot about, but there you go, right? Might as well get this out of the way first. Yeah. Well, there's another one. But it's okay. See, Fable is also pretty good because you can ditch this Lightning Bolt and Sokenzen. But losing Lightning Bolt, of course, is no laughing matter because you want to zap their creatures with Stoneform, but Fury can go a long way, and I would definitely, yeah. Well, there's another Shattering Spree, so, oh yeah. Let's see if they ditch their Mutavault. Yeah, I would if I were them. But it's also a trade that I don't feel too particularly bad about. Yeah, I guess we can wait on the Shattering Spree. It's you know, we can make it as uncounterable as we want by making more copies. So let's see here. Doing Ditch Flame Slash, I'm not so hot on that. Yeah, the reason why Seasoned Pyromancer is just that having two of them is a little... Anyway, well, I don't know what happened here exactly, but you know, for what it's worth, I mean, Mages wouldn't have been half bad, but at the same time, they just kind of stalled out. But yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, the Merfolk matchup definitely is not always as one-sided as this, believe it or not. I know on paper, it looks like Merfolk should be pretty much a buy for us. And while I do think we're solidly favored, I believe it or not, I actually think we have a much easier matchup against Rakdos mid-range of all things than Merfolk. And the reason fundamentally why is that, and I do feel we're favored against Merfolk, we're just not as favored. It's because, like, for the most part, I feel like we're super favored against other mid-range decks because we kind of out mid-range them. We kind of just do mid-range better than most of the other mid-range decks. Most. Maybe there's something I'm missing. I don't count Creativity as a mid-range deck. I mean, if you count Rhinos as a mid-range deck, I count it more as a combo deck, but you could... I mean, that's completely arbitrary. You could count it more as a mid-range deck, but since it's got a gimmick, it's the gimmick that makes it a little difficult, you know? It's not like the card itself per se. It's just a little bit of a combo because it's Cascade. You have to build your deck around it. Whatever. You get the idea. I guess I have to build my deck around Obosh. Is that making a combo deck? Whatever. That's neither here nor there. I guess Rhinos is the only other like kind of true mid-range deck of sorts that does outgrind us. And even then, it's vulnerable a little bit to getting Stone-Brained. We don't really care about Stone-Brained because we don't really rely on a gimmick. And you get the idea, though. I mean, like, but yeah, Rhinos is still favored. Even with Stone-Brained, not trying to deny that, but the point I'm just trying to make is that most other mid-range decks besides Rhinos, if you count it as a mid-range deck, basically we just kind of out mid-range. But it's these other decks that kind of try to attack on a slightly different axis. They can sometimes get us because, I mean, not that you know, other mid-range decks can't sometimes get us, usually by like a quick Saga-van beatdown or something, but decks like Merfolk, when they play more on a tempo axis, flash speed, you know, tricks, for lack of a better word, things like that, you know, like, sure, I feel like we're kind of favored, obviously, I do feel like we are favored, but this is really why it's so important for me, at least, to prioritize being able to deal with Aether Vial, because Aether Vial kind of gives Merfolk this element that attacks on a different axis than just mid-range, and it's that other axis that can kind of go underneath our mid-range, if that makes sense. I don't know, maybe I need to do another theory video at some point to explain my thoughts on how to play the deck and things like that. But suffice it to say, Aether Vial is really the linchpin of this alternate angle of attack. That as long as they don't have it, or we can deal with it with Shattering Spree or whatever, or Blast Zone, then I think we are favored. But my number one advice, if you happen to run into Merfolk, is don't underestimate it. And I don't just say that because I've been playing Merfolk for a long time myself. Merfolk fundamentally is one of these decks that you should never underestimate. The thing is, there are some newbie players who play it, and no offense to them whatsoever, because we've all been newbies at one point, including me. But you will run into some newbie players who won't play it at its best, and you may get a false idea of how good the deck can be, or how much it can like trick you and kind of like tempo you in a way you're not expecting. But if you're up against a player who really knows the deck inside and out, you know, like Nikachu, for example, and I'd like to think myself, although I haven't played it in quite a while, or Tulio Jati, or any number of which, you know, spoiler alert, we might see Tulio Jati this league. We'll see. But yeah, you got to give Merfolk the maximum amount of respect, and you have to be aware that it can, like, it's not anywhere close to a buy. And at the moment that you feel like you've got it on a lock, they're going to find a way. It could be Master of Waves, it could be Svelun plus protecting with Indestructible. I don't even know, man. There's even like ways you can put combos in Merfolk. Like, um, yeah, you can look at Nikachu's channel. There's some kind of like Cloudstone Curio combo. There's other ones too. There's a number of different combos you can actually use with your Merfolk and whatnot, which are not particularly popular. But the point is that Merfolk is absolutely one of these decks that literally the moment that you think I got this on a lock, this is a buy, I don't even need to be worried. Like you'll lose that moment that you kind of that you think that. Ironically, the more you think like I can lose, I gotta respect this. This is a dangerous deck. Don't listen to the people who have no clue what they're talking about, who've never played Merfolk. Um, you know, ironically, the more you respect it, the more likely you're going to win. If you ever wonder why, I think Merfolk probably brings out the saltiest of the salty in people a lot of times. It's precisely because they go into this with this attitude of like, this is a buy. I'm gonna beat it, no problem. Life is easy sometimes. You know what I mean? They go into it like that, and then their world is shattered, especially if they're up against somebody who knows the deck inside and out. And sometimes I guess it's a little bit easier to just rage sort of than to accept that maybe you could have won if you just respected it more, because then you kind of feel like a fool that maybe it was on you. But a lot of times you actually can beat it. Um, but the irony is you have to respect it more. So to all those people talking trash about Merfolk, just letting you know you're only hurting yourself. You're just a lot more likely to get got by it, in my humble opinion. Look, I like what's his name. I'm not going to name names, but I ran into a certain pro. It's none of the pros that I've interacted with on Twitter or anything. You guys are all cool, and I do like this other pro. I've actually read a lot of his content on I think it was Channel Fireball, but anyway, on either the Mothership or Channel Fireball. I actually really liked his content. But even he got a little salty, not too bad. Look, he's still a cool dude as far as I'm concerned. But even he got a little salty once when I beat him randomly on Merfolk in like sometime in the last 5 years. I can't even remember when it happened. And I think he probably fell a victim of that exact thinking that he was probably going to be a buy. He didn't respect it. He probably could have won. I think he was playing a deck that objectively probably was favored, but I just don't think he respected the deck and he got, and that's when the rage can come, not rage or assault or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, whatever. I've rambled enough. But I wanted to give these thoughts because I guess I'll spoil it in advance, but we are going to see Merfolk again, and I think this one's kind of a warm up because, yeah, I think you guys are going to like the next one. And fine, I'll just say it. It's going to be with Tugio Jolly, John D, however you pronounce his name, and hopefully that one will illustrate even more than this, like how I easily could have lost. Well, I guess I spoiled it a little bit, but how I easily yeah. Let's put it this way. The next match will hopefully illustrate just the extreme importance of respecting the deck at all times, because especially in the hands of a pro like him, yeah, you'll definitely get got if you don't. Anyway, let's go to the next one. Alrighty, so we're up against Morrison 90. And I think this is a keepable hand, believe it or not, even though it's yeah, even though it's not exactly yeah, mana heavy, but we can cycle into other lands. And it looks like we're up against, could be Rakdos mid-range, we'll see. This is the risk we run though, but here's the thing though. Oh man, this is not looking good here. This is not looking good. I think if we draw another land next turn though, might be yeah, there we go. I think we got a shot. I'm not saying for sure we're going to win, but I think we got a shot here. We got a shot. Field of Ruin might be nice too. We'll see. Probably cycling. I would have cycled. I would have cycled. I'm gonna cycle now. No. I think the idea, yeah, is I'm gonna snipe off the token. Probably gonna wait till their turn because I kind of want them to make their token because like if we snipe one of the tokens, it's just a lot less powerful. I guess they kind of like mulliganed or something. Let me see here because they're down on cards. Let's see here. Yeah, they mulliganed to 6, which isn't that much, but anyway, yeah, Flame Slash. I mean, Den of the Bugbear meant we couldn't cast something for 3 anyway, so we might actually be able to outgrind the Urza Saga. It's not impossible. I mean, Fable and Seasoned Pyromancer themselves are pretty grindy. I think I'll play Fable because you know, just it's yeah, gets more grind as the game goes on. So yeah, we'll see. As long as they don't drop another Saga, as long as they don't drop a Ren and 6, it's probably just Saga-van. Yeah, yeah, Fable, gotta love it. All right, cool. I don't think about discarding it, but nah, maybe not. All right, it's fine. They're probably going to equip it or not. Depending on how they play this, this could work to our advantage. Although I'd equip the Goblin token to put it out of Pyrite range if I were them, but it's up to them. And they didn't, and that's a little interesting. Not sure why. Not sure why. Now, this is good. We could snipe the Urza Saga. I don't know. I would have out with them. Putting this thing to 3. Yeah, I guess after sniping Urza Saga, there really wasn't. There's not that much more threatening in their graveyard they can really do. So, yeah, I endorse that. I actually didn't think of that whenever watching here, but that's legitimate. I don't know why they waited here. That was a mistake. Could they have won? Maybe, but there's just kind of no reason. Yep, Tarmogoyfi. Blast Zone on 2 is probably our jam. What am I doing here? What is this? Ah, of course. Oh, they got research desk, probably from Urza Saga shenanigans. This is dangerous here. Well, I think we got it actually. Flame Slash and then copy Fury. No. Oh yeah, it's just barely not enough. But we can actually blow up Blast Zone, can't we? Oh yeah. We can also copy Fury and yeah, let's do this. That's fine. It's fine. It is what it is. But now that we can chump block Tarmogoyf, I'm just a lot less worried about it. This is an interesting alternative way to approach this. It's funny sometimes. I'm not exactly sure what's going on in my head at the time. I'd like to think that playing for such a long time gives me the ability to just think about some of these alternative ways of approaching this. Like, see, I'm just playing so weird, but it's like somehow I know I'm going to get this Flame Slash. I don't know that I fully endorse this, but I mean, at the same time, I must know what I'm doing because what is this here? That's funny that I didn't play Voldaren Epicure first, but I guess I want to crank up the Blast Zone. So it makes sense to me. I could double block with the 2 Oxes, put the Blast Zone to 2. I feel like this was a very losable matchup where, yeah, I'll just move the Blast Zone to 2. At the end of the day, I feel I'm so favored as long as I survive because of all this insane card advantage I can get with the Oxes plus the cards I already have in my hand. That's why I made what might look like not a terribly ideal block, but why would I go down to 1? I just I don't need to play so risky. Let's see, what do I do here? Obosh. This is very interesting how I'm playing, I'm not gonna lie. This is very interesting. Probably would have held up Lightning Bolt. So okay, there's a combination of probably me playing a little loosely, not gonna lie, but I feel like I'm also making some experimental plays that really happen to really pay off somehow. I have to imagine that my thought process is I felt kind of like I was on the back foot. I felt in danger. I was running a little low on life. I have to imagine my thought process was like I got to be a little risky but not too risky. Like no reason to go down to 1 there, for example, but I have to be a little risky. Just because of me being on the back foot. If I thought about it some more, I could probably, like, I definitely would have held up Lightning Bolt if I would have replayed it right now. But at the same time, yeah, because no reason to like make myself exposed to a Saga-van hit. They get a Seasoned Pyromancer. They draw 2 more Tarmogoyfs, and then like whatever. But other than that, seems like it mostly paid off. Let's get to the next one. Alrighty, so match 2, game 2. This hand looks keepable to me. Let's see how we sideboarded. I think we only brought out Voldaren Epicure for Magus of the Moon for Urza Saga. I can get behind that. I think just taking out Urza Saga before it fetches anything is a little more clean and efficient than Shattering Spree once they already have stuff. Plus, the more Blast Zones and Field of Ruins that we have that we haven't cracked yet makes it a little bit. But I could endorse bringing in Shattering Spree too. I think Magus is slightly better, so there you go. Anyway, let's get to it. Yep, Inquisition of Kozilek. That's fine. That is fine. Yeah, so... yeah, I guess we can one-shot that. It's pretty cool. The Fable. So I think Pyrite Spellbomb makes this a lot of sense. Yeah. Probably dumping a season. Holding up Spikefield for Ragaman. I endorse. I endorse. Yeah, there you go. Good thing we held up that Spikefield. You guys never be too certain, you know what I mean? Yeah, there's a Saga. Let's see if we got a Magus or something. I don't know if I want to crack Soul Guide. I can think about it here. Do I want to do that? I do. Yeah. Yeah, just let's see. Alright, it is what it is. I was hoping to get a Magus or a Field of Ruin. Well, there's a Magus. At the end of the day, if they get 1/1/1 token, it's not gonna... Oh, man. As long as they don't Inquisition us. This is where Magus really shines, tell you what. I tell you what. To quote a certain propane salesman, I tell you what. I tell you what. Alrighty. Yeah, you gotta love it. Yeah, it's cool. We got another one in case they have a third or a Saga. Yeah, I mean, why not? That thing can grow. Alright. Probably flashing back to Seasoned Pyromancer. And there we go. We get this. This is where Magus just really shines. I tell you what. I tell you what. Hopefully no Kolaghan's Command. Please no. Okay, good. I'd hold back at least one Elemental token. Yeah, two. Why not? I feel pretty favored. Why play risky? I tell you what. Put Obosh to hand. I tell you what. Yeah, they burned through 3 Sagas. I don't even know if a 4th Saga is going to matter that much anyway. I'm just going to play, yeah, Obosh. Yeah, let's go. I don't know if I need an attack with the Elemental token, to be fair. But there's Fury. That's fine. Yeah. Even if they block Obosh, caboose. Oh man. Alright. We didn't get to see their random 6 go nuts with the Urza Saga, but that's partially what the Soul Guide Lanterns are for. Since they didn't draw them, we got to cycle them pretty much with impunity, though. No, don't get me wrong. This matchup can be more challenging. I think this one is way harder for us than Rakdos midrange, but it's not. It's still not necessarily a bad matchup, but it's, you know, it's losable. Just I think we're solidly favored, but it's also like well within the realm of possibility that we could lose. This is one of those matchups I don't feel as salty when I lose because it's you know, they have a gimmick, the rebuying Urza Saga thing that like Rakdos midrange and other type of decks like that don't. Fundamentally, most of the time, other midrange decks need a gimmick to kind of juke us, so to speak. And this deck has it, so no reason to feel salty if you lose on this one. To the extent that you should feel salty at all. I, for one, think being salty is human. You don't necessarily always have to show it. I think the virtue is not showing saltiness, not being salty. I think everybody gets salty. I think the virtue is just not showing it. You get what I'm saying. Hopefully. I don't know. Whatever. Alright, next one. Alright, match 3, game 1. And this is the Tulio Jotty match that I was alluding to. And so when we see this name, we instantly, and yes, of course, this hand is keepable, and we instantly know that we got to take this very seriously. Silvergill Adept. I for one think I know Nikachu's not as hot as Silvergill Adept, but I still like Silvergill Adept. I'm not saying that this card is indispensable. It's just I do like it. Okay, that Aether Vial, even though it's late, it's still a little concerning. But I do think getting down the Fable though is a pretty good use of my mana. Okay. So we gotta watch out for the Hex Catcher. So here's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, definitely. I think I'm gonna pitch the Sokenzen. That's probably about it. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. Psionic Blast. I love it. I love it. I love the experimenting with Psionic Blast. You are the best, Tulio Jotti. Although Dismember is, for the most part, better in my humble opinion, but Psionic Blast does go to the face, though. So, yeah, I don't need 2 of these. Yeah, I don't need 3 of these. Yep. Alrighty. Vanilla Hex Catcher. Let's see. As long as they don't have what's its face. I mean, I could double block, right? I'm trying to think, like, what's the big danger here? They could play 2? No? Yeah, that's a weird attack. You know, I think they figured I probably wouldn't have blocked because of the danger of a Hex Catcher plus a Lord. To be fair, maybe I was being a little bit of a sucker there, and maybe I disappointed them with making a kind of a chump move and getting rewarded for it. But I also kind of take this matchup seriously, and I actually felt like, you know, if I didn't play super carefully, I easily could have. So you see, the theory here is, yeah, just keep the velocity going, so to speak, you know. And I endorse it. I do. I endorse it. Alright. I might as well, I think, nix the Mutavault. I'm trying to think here. Yeah, nix the Mutavault. Yeah. If they drop a Subtlety, I'll probably finish off a Spikefield. Otherwise, I'll play it. There we go. Yeah, even the legendary Tulio Jotti seems to be getting a little flooded here. Hence, once again, why I always try to build my Merfolk decks to get value out of the lands. Like a Castle Vantress could have helped, for example. That's not saying that they're foolish for not doing it, but just that's just my approach. I mean, by no means is that guaranteed to win. But like, for example, if Master of Waves is in the deck, then that gives you a better chance to go for it. If you, ultimately, I know, in my opinion, if you want to have a good matchup against this deck against Obosh, Master of Waves is a good place to start. I do have Pyrite Spellbomb though in this particular build, so it's not necessarily an auto win, but it does put me in tricky situations like no other Merfolk card really does in this matchup, other than Svaelun to some extent, but mostly Master of Waves would be an MVP type card here, I think, in my humble opinion. But yeah, no, I think next one's going to be a lot more interesting. All right, let's see. All right, match 3, game 2, and I think we did the same switcheroo, Mages plus Shattering Spree. Now that I think about it, actually, Mages could be good just for pitching to Fury. Yeah, now that I think about it, even if they are showing a lot of violence like they did here in last game, yeah, Mages still actually is nice, if no other reason than you could pitch it to Fury. But the issue though is sometimes the Soul Gun Lanterns help to just cycle through the deck. But I think, yeah, another reason though is actually Chalice. So yeah, we want to make ourselves a little less vulnerable to Chalice. So yeah, I dig it. Yeah, same as last time. That's the general approach. All right, so Obosh, I choose you. This seems like a keepable hand. Let's go. I would like a Shattering Spree because this feels like an Aether Vial. No Aether Vial. I am getting lucky, I think, against the Merfolk matchups because they either don't have Aether Vial or I happen to have Spree when they have Aether Vial, which is not a guarantee. Yeah, I think I'm going to wait to see if I can snipe multiple things with Fury, considering I'm a little late on the old burn spells. Thieving Skydiver. Oof. Now the question is, do I drop Magus? No, I think I drop Fable. Yeah, I endorse this. I endorse it. I think I'm gonna go grab Fable, yeah. I'm probably gonna ditch a Seasoned Pyromancer and a Magus, most likely. Let's see here. Yeah, as long as I have a steady stream of burn type spells, then I think I like my chances. Okay, that's fine. Aurora, yeah, alrighty. Alrighty. Alrighty, let's see here. Yeah, I guess I'll play the other Fable, right? See, I feel like they're holding up Subtlety, and Subtlety doesn't really do anything against Fable. So that's something to keep in mind. That's one thing that makes Fable very powerful here. So even though I played it into Spellpiercer, oh, was not expecting this. See, this is where the Trixies can happen. Yeah, not too bad. I had to take my chances there. I'll probably hit the Skydiver because it is flying. I'm a little surprised. Why am I doing this? I guess because I'm trying to go after the Aether Vial. I don't know, man. I gotta be honest. I don't know, man. Okay. Oh yeah, put it on 2. Okay. That makes sense. That's pretty powerful. Yeah. Right, and then I can blast that. Play Subtlety. See? It's getting scary. It's getting scary, not gonna lie. But taking away their ability to play at instant speed with Aether Vial, though, does help. I'm probably gonna block that. Yes, they could play a Hex Catcher, but I blasted. Yeah, okay. The Thieving Skydiver. Benthic Biomancer. Oof, going down to 2 is not particularly appetizing. If it would have drawn Dismember right there, we would have been a goner. Ho 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 ho. So we got to get something. That is, I think, the very definition of something. I think if you look up something in the dictionary, I think Top Deck Fury is probably going to be there. You can experiment and do it right now, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Alright, and it looks like they conceded. Oh, I thought this matchup was a little closer than it seemed. And I'm also a little not 100% sure that I actually played this as carefully as I was thinking I did. But I still do think that we took this matchup seriously and were rewarded for it. It's just not quite as epic of a game as I remembered it. But at the same time, I think we got to 2 life. So, I mean, and we know they have Psionic Blast too, right? So I think we got a little lucky that they didn't draw their signature experimental card that would have showed exactly like why it's in their deck. Yeah, you know what? I think this was an interesting matchup. Very very losable matchup, but also very winnable. Just got to respect it a lot. Other than that, not sure what to say. I like the Thieving Skydiver idea. I've always wanted to try this. I think I tried it a few times, but I don't know. It's curious to know how this is working out. Man, I'm really interested to get into Merfolk more again with Voldaren Hexcatcher. But this is my ultimate fear though with playing Merfolk, is running into these removal heavy mid-range type decks. That is my biggest concern. Ironically, like my own Obosh deck. But that's always how the cookie crumbles, isn't it? Merfolk kind of eats up the combo decks, the exact combo decks, like I'm guessing Creativity. I'm sure Merfolk must smash Creativity. Like, ironically, Merfolk totally eat for breakfast. I think all of Obosh's worst matchups. And then Obosh, as long as you play it, as long as you respect the matchup a lot, I think can't eat Merfolk, so to speak. So it's the food chain, I guess. Alright, let's go to the next one. Alright, match match 4, game 1. You know what, now that I think of, yeah, and I don't lead on Bugbear just in case you draw another one. Oh, Rakdos mid-range. Yes. Don't want to get arrogant or anything and think like it's a done deal, but this is obviously good news for us. Ooh, and we got the Flame Slash too. You love to see it. Fortunately, we can't play the Fable, but we can still hold up for Ragdamans, which they decided not to get too spunky. Yeah. Yeah, let's drop the Fable. How much you want to bet they got a Fatal Push? Yep. Well, what's weird? Why would they have held up a black man if not for Fatal Push? I don't know. Yeah, I just didn't want to give them an Ox. But I guess I have to. Yeah. Well, they can play an Ox now if they want. It's their call. Yep, it's fine. I tried to avoid it, but it is what it is. We're not going to cry over spilled milk. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to block. That's fine. Yeah, let's play the Pyro. I mean, I needless to say, I am feeling this. I am feeling this. Yep. Da, da, da. Yeah, da, 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 da. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Yeah, they got a pretty good groove going too, not gonna lie, but I got my Oxys. Ooh, and I got my Fury. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, I got my groove going. What can I say? They had their groove going, I had my groove going. Alrighty. Yeah, just doing this, responding with Lightning Bolt, I guess. See if they... Yep, I was worried about that, but what was I supposed to do? Not try. Yep. But I mean, I draw 3, they draw 2, and I got creatures in play, and I got Lightning Bolt. Feel pretty good about this, not gonna lie. Yep. Yeah, and we're gonna Lightning Bolt it into turn, I think. Or just right now. Yep. Yeah, I'll probably play Sokenzen. Oh, I guess I'll just hold it up. Makes sense. I'll play it so that I can have more cards in the graveyard for Ox. Oh, I actually had enough just by playing it. There you go. And that's that. Alright, match 4, game 2. Let's see how we sideboarded. I don't think we did sideboard. No, we didn't. We're pretty much, you know, yeah, don't want to count my eggs before they hatch, but this is a keepable hand, and I think we're pretty much main boarded, to be honest. We got the Spikefield. Yeah, so this is one of the advantages of Spikefield. You know, and they forgot that it exiles. You know, it can happen to the best of us. Please don't judge the opponent. It can happen to the best of us. Alrighty. Void Walker. You'll get caught up in the Void Walker. I'm a little bit concerned though that I don't have removal. I'm a little surprised that they didn't attack. I see virtually no downside to attacking. I'm gonna get rid of the Soul Guide Lanterns, I think. Okay, just one of them. Alright, fine. Let's see here. Yeah, but now we can play Fury. Tyson Fury. Alrighty. That's fine. Yeah, but the problem is they can't cast it into speed. So, yeah. Nice try, but all right. Well, no Seasoned Pyromancer there means I think you know, not to count my chickens before they hatch or my eggs before they hatch, but I think that's pretty much GG. Well, and there we go. Yep. I mean, that's kind of how this matchup goes. You know, one thing that came to my mind is, like, maybe one reason why subconsciously I jammed the Obosh deck more than Merfolk, even though Merfolk was one of my first loves, so to speak, in at least competitive Magic. It came a little bit later though in my total Magic sort of journey, but definitely was my first decks in competitive Magic for sure. But um, see, one of the reasons why I think I've strayed away from it a little bit, psychologically speaking, although I'm not endorsing this as any kind of strategy or anything, it's just like, see, here's the thing. I feel like when you lose to a combo deck with Obosh, like, you can always just kind of write it off subconsciously as like, well, I just had a bad matchup. There's nothing I can do, to quote a certain YouTuber who you should by no means ever, try to copy what he does. But, you could always kind of, you can subconsciously make yourself feel better by saying, there's nothing I can do. Um, which we all do to some extent. But I feel like if you're like playing Merfolk and you lose to like an Obosh deck or something, it's like it stings a little worse because it just looks a little more like you could have possibly won if you played better, even though a lot of it is just the card choices just really line up a lot of times and they can make it every bit as difficult as a combo deck like Creativity is for us. It's just kind of less obvious just looking at the cards themselves in a way. It's hard to explain, but it's like I think the illusion about playing your opponent is subconsciously a little bit enticing with these these mid-range decks that can outgrind most other mid-range decks. Like, because let's be fair here, we didn't outplay this opponent. Like our cards we just kind of play grindier cards than them. We play less interaction for combo matchups like discard, less vulnerable hate pieces like a Dalthi Videwalker, which can easily be like burned. Like they play a wider variety of anti-combo measures that we don't, and as a result, we just play more pure grind. And we're just favored because of that. I mean, and we're every bit as favored, I think, in this matchup as Creativity is against us, and maybe even more so to be honest, because I have been juking Creativity a little more lately. I don't know what it is, man. Sometimes they just flood out, they never draw Creativity, and sometimes I just win. You can't count on that, but like I feel like that happens more than when we get juked by Rakdos, but that's probably not true. I mean, I do get juked by Rakdos. Like I said, sometimes those early Ragavan jukes, sometimes the early Fury Undead Malice kind of juke, and I don't have Flame Slash or something, or Grief where they take removal. You get the idea. But I'm just saying, like, if you look at this matchup, I think it's there's really not. I didn't outplay the opponent here. It's like but it's just the illusion, I think, of like feeling like I'm like the thing is you feel like you're playing a game of Magic, but are we really? And this to be fair, I think this is a valid critique of Modern in a way, is like it felt to me like I was playing Magic. I don't know how much it felt to the opponent like we were playing Magic. It felt to me like we were playing Magic, but am I deluding myself? I kind of feel like I am. And is Magic really healthy if like half of the matchups, if like half of the meta, it's like very blatantly obvious that we're not really playing Magic, and the other half, like, we have to trick ourselves into thinking we're playing Magic, but in reality, we're not really because what I'm trying to say is Magic really is Modern still actually kind of like two ships passing in the night? Like the common criticism from the past. Is it just that like it looks more like the two ships are actually interacting with each other when in reality, like here, I still feel like it's two ships passing in the night. You know, um, I don't know. I don't know if this makes sense at all. Don't get me wrong, I'm having a blast playing Obosh, but like I wonder the more and more it kind of sinks in that that kind of like I always feel like you can kind of program an AI to play. Not that this deck is like no, I shouldn't say that. I should give myself a little credit. I've obviously learned a good amount on how to approach various different matchups. But I just feel like if you could kind of program, some of the nooks and crannies of how I've approached the matchups into like an AI, I feel like the AI could probably get to like 80% or so of my results. But it would probably have to know how to take certain, just take certain approaches, which may or may not be able to be figured out by the AI itself, which I'd like to delude myself perhaps, hopefully it's not deluding, into thinking that there's a little more that goes into it that's not just immediately obvious. No, but I do actually think that there are some interesting approaches that you do just kind of have to learn by either trial and error or, by watching videos like this. Subscribe if you want to see more, obviously. If you want to learn how to play these Obosh decks inside and out, I think you come to the right place. Anyway, let's get to the other ones. But yeah, just yeah, Felt like magic. Was it really though? Let me know in the comments. Alright, and last but not least, we have match 5. And I think as flawed as this hand is, I think I will keep. I don't know though. See, I might have just exposed myself to being. Well, I lucked out. I had no business lucking out like that. This is exactly the kind of matchup where probably there can be juking from. Oh, it's not actually Rakdos mid range. Okay. Yeah, I think there's more juke potential here. Urza Saga and Cookbook are definitely two cards that have more juke potential usually. Yep. Yeah, they're gonna get some juicy big Urza Saga tokens. They're 3/3s now. They'll be 4/4s if they ditch another card from their hand. It's pretty gross, if I say so myself. Oh man, if I drop a oh dang it. Yeah, it's so okay. Field of Ruin, but it's so sweet because we could have blown it up without. Yeah, so here and there. Why did I? Because I want to zap it with Spikefield. You sly. Oops. Oh, that was me. It's so weird. For some reason, I forgot to count the cookbook itself, and I shame scooped. You shouldn't do that, folks. You shouldn't shame scoop. I could kind of see where I was going, and even when I was replaying it, I'm like, oh, you sly idiot. And I was like to myself, I was like, ah, dang it. It's weird. It's weird. Like somehow even when I replayed it again, I kind of was like, I see where I'm going, but I wasn't immediately like, wait a minute, why am I not seeing the cookbook? Whatever. Let's go next. Okie dokie. Match 5. Game 2. Yeah, this is a keepable hand if I've ever seen one. Let's see how we sideboarded though. Obviously, as we can see, we brought the Magus in here. Voldaren Epicure is one of the most cuttable cards, so there it goes. And I think we brought in the Shattering Spree too, because they do play a lot of artifacts. So out goes the Pyrite Spellbomb. There's not even a lot of targets for it, because Asmaran de Kuldakan de Kuldakar, Asmaran de Kuldakar, how you call it. We can't even zap that with Pyrite Spellbomb, so there you go. I think that's pretty self-explanatory sideboarding, and yeah, I think we want to play the Spikefield. I'm surprised I didn't play the Spikefield. A little bit worried about discard, which they didn't. Should I zap it with Spikefield? Yeah, I guess now I know I can zap. That's why I held on to the Spikefield. Okay. Yeah, I like it. Why did I ditch the Magus? Oh, because I got the Field of Ruin. Yeah, I can dig it. There's the Asmaran. Alpine Moon. What are they naming? What did they name again? Probably Field of Ruin. Blast Zone. Well, I guess it makes sense because Blast Zone would deal with all the 1-drops. Weird though. I feel like Urza Saga is their best juke path to victory. Deadly Dispute. Okay, interesting. We can just Flame Slash it now. Or Fury. Fury seems a little cooler. A little more cool to car-y. Alrighty. Well, that was every bit as exhilarating as the first one. Alright, match 5, game 3. I already checked the sideboard. Same sideboard configuration, no changes there. Let's go. And yeah, it might seem a little risky with Saga-van, but I mean, I've got a way to deal with Urza Saga. Ooh, I might have to pitch the Fury. Nope. You know, see, if you want a trophy, one thing, getting lucky doesn't hurt. You know, I don't know what else to tell you. Getting lucky doesn't hurt. You know, it really doesn't. I wish there was a strategy I could employ to make the luck appear more, but well, there kind of is. It's called cheating, but I don't recommend it, and I also don't know how to do it. And yeah, more importantly, I don't recommend it. Let me see here. All right. I was surprised I didn't play the Blast Zone first. I'll block the Saga-van if they give me the opportunity, because I got another Magus. What did they take? They took a Fury. I guess reasonable enough. I'm going to try to hold the Magi until they play the Urza Saga. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, that's Seasoned Pyromancer for sure. We're definitely gonna pitch the Ox, so I already probably pitched both Oxes. Yeah. Oh, and Obosh. Yeah, I get behind pitching Obosh. What the frick is this? Oh yeah, yeah, it's the whatever that card's called. Nice. They made some kind of mistake, I guess. What, ooh, K command. Yeah, see, I should have held on to that, whatever I call it, like I was advocating for. But there we go. We got the fielder in. Sometime better lucky than good, man. I'll tell you, because I should have held on to that Magus. But fate will not let me get punished like I probably should. You know, how frustrating must this be for the opponent? I mean, yeah. And, you know, then there you go. We kind of go to town with the card advantage. It's always nice. It's always nice. Asmoran. The cool the car. Cook a bookie. Cook a booker. Cook a booker. Ooh, there's Oval Chase. Oval Chase Daredevil, that's what she's called. Oval Chase Daredevil. Yeah, there's a Saga. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And we get some more Ox. I probably won't even play the tokens. Actually, playing the tokens could be GG. Yeah, I kind of missed that, did I? No, because they can gain life, so yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say, other than we seem to be in a pretty good position here, if I do say so myself. It kind of looks like we're gonna win. Yeah, because here's the thing. Yeah, they don't have enough food, so I sacrificed that before any of this nonsense with the feasting troll thingy could have happened. Yeah, we just rip them. Yeah, let them rip. I mean, yeah, look, come on. You don't get a trophy without some luck along the way. All right. Well, yeah. Sorry, dude. All right. I guess let's get to the post league. I think this matchup is definitely winnable. They could juke us. They didn't this time. There you go. All right. Post league wrap up. So yeah, this time no current deck that I have to show. You know, when I'm currently playing on this version. But so I'll just give my thoughts. You know, if I would revisit this, because you know, I'll just let you all know I'm not actively developing an Ox version anymore. Ox is still obviously in my collection if I want to revisit this. It's mainly because of Elish Norn, which we didn't run into this league. But yeah, Elish Norn is a big problem for Ox. But as we can see, if Elish Norn is not necessarily running amok, and if we absolutely need to outgrind, no questions asked, Ox still will get the job done usually. It's still quite a grinding monster, and yeah, I'm not sure what else to say other than that. Yeah. Also, we didn't really have to bring in Stonebrain, but it is an option to play Stonebrain with Obosh, as we've seen before. Currently, though, I actually feel like companionless versions could be better positioned anyway. Because believe it or not, you gain a lot by being able to play Shatterskull Smashing. Shatterskull Smashing is a very underrated, very powerful card that almost is worth losing Obosh by itself. And then you just don't lose literally anything for having access to cards like Stonebrain or a Braid. The way I'm approaching it right now is I don't necessarily reach for Stonebrain in the Obosh versions, but as you can see, it's doable. It is doable. Anyway, so yeah, if y'all like this content, please like and subscribe. I think Obosh has got legs, obviously. And as you can see, you could definitely get a 5-0 if you get the right matchups, if you play it tight. And yeah, until next time, everybody, take care.